Carlos Barredo fighting each other with wheels.
Oh, sure.
2010. It's a podcast in itself.
Exactly.
I've just been this Tour de France, we're going to yap about beef.
Todd Beast. It's a design for to win a breakaway stage, and KOM maybe or there with Carapaz and then Valgren and Walker also there. Lotto into Marche, Arnaud Delis as the sprint option. He's been good and unlucky in Tour de France sprints recently. But is he climbing well enough to survive the versatile sprints? Van Aenveld for GC, Zimmerman for break stages, Hubbard, sort of all-round with Berkmos, the puncher, Slock is very good, and then Krauss and Bistroffer. Bistroffer was designed for the Abrahamsen, so I want to see him and Abrahamsen in breakaways, thank you very much. NSN, big lead out, so this is a proper lead out here. Van Aspbrook, Askey, Stewart, Louvel. 5 different guys around Biddy for the lead out, former green jersey winner, Frigo for the breaks, Bennett for the climbs, Naylands for the breaks as well. So there's an advantage when you don't have a top GC rider. You can put more guys around the sprinter, and that's what we also see at Picnic Benji with Bittner supported by Dont, Vandenberg, Merkel, Bisterboss, and then Colville and by Guy Vandenbroek for the harder stages and the climbs.
I think there's one thing we forgot to do, and it's taking a look at Ineos, and because the team is not confirmed, I think I heard a stern warning in the last podcast by Patrick that if their team is not announced by the time the Tour de France preview happens, then they've actually got a good excuse for it. But Patrick did say that we have to take a look at the bottom 8 riders of the roster now in terms of UCI points. The Tour de France roster by that rule is Bob Jungels, Peter Uxenberg, Ben Swift, Lucas Hamilton, Loris de Plus, Victor Vangelotti, Mikkel Kwiatkowski, and Jack Haig. Who's their GC leader, Patrick?
Jack will be, sorry, what's the journalist, the Italian journalist, Pink Avatar on Twitter?
Giro.
I think he tweeted today what the Ineos team will be. Did he not? Or was it Ben?
I don't know. I do not follow the man.
Anyway, the team is apparently well around the TTT. So let me just check what he said. Okay, here's the Ribbon Ineos team. Bernal, Kwiatkowski, Foss, Boko, and Ganna, Aronsman, Coulthard, Tarling, Brooks, Colburn, I think that making a recovery, it seems. So Aronsman will go for stages, I suppose, or Ollie's out. I mean, they go to win the TTT in the stages, I think. And then now you just got to results that have gone on with stage 4, for example.
I do not hate the idea that Aronsman tries to go for GC before opting for stage.
Yeah, I agree.
He should stop 5 the Giro.
Why not Carlos Rodriguez?
For me, Carlos is breakaways because he's too fragile.
But he's not in the team.
Oh, well, okay, I didn't remember every word you said there.
Bernal's in there.
No, actually, he wasn't that great at the Dauphiné. He had I think one great stage, one notable stage where he got great different braking was useful there. But outside of that, his level is just not there.
Yeah.
Just to the as a consequence.
Yeah. So they're my favorites, the team time trial. Quick step bring
Okay, with that roster? Repeat again.
Well, I lost him. I don't know. That's
Ghana, Aronsman.
Tarling, Vogel, and Kwiatkowski.
So Tarling's riding.
Yeah.
Despite his collarbone injury.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to do an Abrahamsen.
Yeah. So I think they're favourites for it, especially with Foss here.
Yeah.
Speaking of Norwegians, X Magnus Kort, who's just announced his retirement and won Danish Natty Champs. Tobias Hund Johansson, who was top 10 last year. Varenschold, who's a sprinter. Abrahamsen, who won a break stage last year. Trine, who was top 10 in the Vuelta. Anders Hagen Johannesson, Skarseth, who just won the Norwegian Natty Champs, and Charmick, who just won a Dauphiné stage for the breakaway. It's the best team they could probably put on paper. So they've got GC ambitions. They've got a versatile sprinter in Kort. They've got a proper sprinter in Varenschold. They've got punchers. They've got attacking Barrios and Abrahamsen. They're sort of fit for every scenario. Look for them to do a raid to move Johannesson up in a GC position. Groupama bring newly minted French Natty champ Romain Gregoire alongside Guillaume Martin, Berthet, Brazafonso, Germani, Bachet, Rousseau, Costu. This team's all about getting Gregoire a stage win in the Tricolor in Barcelona. Otterbrooks leads Movistar. They're not announced, but yeah, he'll be supported by like Adria and Co. And they're not announced. Philipsen and Van der Poel head up Alpecin. They'll have a strong lead out around them. No Caden Groves, I don't think. But indeed, Van der Poel will go for the stage 2 in Barcelona. Philipsen for all the sprints. Might be my favourite green, actually. Tudor bring Alaphilippe, Trentin, Stora, Plomas, Decline, Haller, Hirschi, Boisard. So they basically, apart from Coombe, just picked highest paid ones on the team. But indeed, Alaphilippe is the puncher. Can he do it on stage 2? Trentin, all-rounder. Stora, probably the best climber. Decline, the sprinter. No real lead out for him except for Plomas. And then Cofidis, Algarve, Vehemence, Fratan, Kirsch, Page, Aaron Brew, Thomas, Izagirre. They're going for breakaways. Izagirre might snag one. He's in good shape this year. Gigant leads Total Energies top 10 last year. Turgis, who won a stage in 24. He won the cobble stage, gravel stage even. Ahead of Pidcock, Verchel, Lebert, Brouillard, Delboeuf, Guernalec, and Teletre. Pinarello Q365 not announced, but they have British Natty champ Fred Wright, and Pidcock is their main guy, so Pidcock will go to stage 2, and we'll see how far it goes in GC. And then Caja Rural, led by Seb Berwick, GC leader, and then Alex Molinar, Nicolau Balderstone, Gaviria for sprints, Oldani, True Para. Last one is, no, I'm still going, XDS Astana, bit of a strange team actually. No Fortunato, they have Turnison leading out Cantor with Ballerini and Gate, so they're going for the sprints with Cantor. Then they have Agita, Tejada, Vinacuro, Velasco for breakaways, I would say. Tejada's always good in the break. And the actual last team, not lying to you this time, is Jaco Alula, Michael Matthews, who's back from injury, with Plapp, Ackerman for the trying to get top 5s in sprints, O'Connor, Schmidt, O'Brien, Engelhardt, Durbridge. So it's a really well set up team for the TTT, a lot of engines, they're all big guys. And then Bling will try to do a versatile sprint, and they'll try to win break stage. Schmidt nearly won last year. I've run up through the teams. Any last thoughts, Benji, before we do the stage-by-stage profiles?
I think it's funny that Fortunato was planning to come to the Tour de France 20k women, then he's not here. I haven't heard of sickness when it comes to him, so this is somewhat surprising, I would say. I don't think it's the strongest team in the world, that roster of XDS Astana. Like, Tejada can fight for a breakaway stage victory. I don't really see it when it comes to that roster, I'll be honest. But overall, there's a few riders there where I've got question marks. Like Tom Pidcock, for example, was good at, I think, Eschborn and that race in Andorra next to your house. And but that's also not the two races that will define my immersiveness in his chances for GC quality, you know? So I don't know where he stands when it comes to GC. I kind of expect him to be good. Now, overall, we've gone through the start lists. When it comes to the green jersey, high profile here for a second. We've got the Jasper Philipsen at Alpecin Premier Tech bunch. We've got Medalier at Quickstep Pedersen at Trek. Last year, Philipsen would have won the green jersey if he didn't crash. I think Jasper Philipsen is winning the green jersey.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's an advantage. There's just an advantage with these teams that have one structural. That's why Bora just gone one GC, Alpecin, NSN. They go for just one guy, and also Quickset with Merlier pretty much. I don't think Landa's doing the tour. If they unify around one goal, it makes it more likely to win that goal than, say, like the decathlon split team, where it's like, is Koi going to win green with that setup? Probably not. But before we get into the stage by stage, for Polka Dots, I mentioned ad hoc. Lenny Carapaz have declared their interest for it. No Ciccone, he's not on the Trek team. He was probably going to go for it, I would say. White jersey, Paul Success is the heavy favourite, and if he finishes, he should win that. But is Ayuso still eligible?
Right, Ayuso is still eligible. He's still a young dude.
There you go.
He's still only 23, by the way.
Okay. Del Toro also pretty young. Okay, so there's a few decent riders. Del Toro, Ayuso. They need to change the rules so that they need to lower the age to like 18 or something.
Every no one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but something we haven't discussed as much. We haven't discussed yet, Benji. It is the impact of the weather on the riders. A few days ago, France recorded just about its hottest day ever with a national average of 30 degrees. We had 40-degree temps in Paris. And racing in that kind of heat puts extra stress on the body. You lose more fluid through sweat. You rely more on carbs. The same effort feels harder, and that's why getting your fueling
right is more and more important. And Morton helps with both. Morton has a complete nutritional and cooling sensation that can make hot conditions feel more manageable. It doesn't lower your core body temperature, but it can change how hot you feel, which matters when you're exercising in the summer heat. Get 15% off your Morton order with the code LRCPTour26 at Morton.com. And for every drink mix purchase, you can get a free box of additions. The link is in the show notes. Oh, and by the way, Morton's launching some discussed, unknown. I checked on Twitter, no one knows it's launching. They're launching some other cool products during the tour, but they're top secret. They're embargoed for now. You'll hear more about them in a second. All right, stage 1, Benji, Barcelona. We're going to be there. The TTT. Take us away.
Okay, I'll take us away. I'll do the uneven numbers then. I guess we've got a team time trial of 19.5 kilometers long. It's mostly flat for the first 15 kilometers, and then we start the Montjuic climb and then another hill to the finish line of 700 meters at 7.5%. The Montjuic climb is, of course, a kilometer at about 5.4%. It's a climb we see in the final stage of Catalonia a billion times. But quick rep, we got to repeat this as always. The team time trials in the Tour de France and in ASO races as a whole go differently than the normal team time trials. It's not the fourth rider's time that counts, but it's the individual times of riders that count. So if hypothetically UAE Team Emirates launches Tadej Pogacar to the finish line and he finishes alone, his own time counts for him and their own time for the other riders counts as well for the others. So that's the thought process behind it. Question before we jump into our predictions for the stage. Are there inherently bigger or smaller gaps? We've got limited data, but between the old and the ASO TTT rules, I feel like this sometimes leads to bigger gaps because there's more mistakes in the last 3 kilometers of a stage like this, no?
Especially with the hills, teams get their pacing wrong. Indeed, you'd think in a 16K, 20K TTT against the top super teams, there's normally not bigger gaps. But yeah, I feel like there could be decent gaps of 20 seconds here plus, which is significant.
I think it's going to be bigger.
Yeah, like exactly. Some teams lost a minute. Yeah, like bigger teams lost a minute. And I'm not so sure. We'll see. I really don't know. It also depends on how you execute on the day. But yeah, we have 3 intermediate time checks, which is we go past the Sagrada Familia and then go through a Champla and then go down to Montjuic. We don't have an intermediate time check at the bottom of the last hill. Don't like that. I like to know who did the quickest climb, but it is what it is. And how would you pace this TTT, Benji?
To be honest, I think it's getting to the climbs with as many people as possible and maybe going a few riders off the back by the time you hit that point. But then it's almost already launching time, whether that's Pogacar and Del Toro staying together if you're UAE for sure, I think, and maybe even to the finish line. But I think for a lot of teams even for Red Bull, for example, I expect Lipovic and Remco to finish this together. Because Lipovic is a competent time trialist. I don't expect Remco to drop it. Is that fair?
It depends on how gas Remco is from pulling. It depends how tough it is in his wheel. But you're right. Lippo's a big guy pushing a lot of power, so we'll see. I have Ineos winning this TTT.
I think that...
I think they would have won the Dauphiné one
during this Tour de France.
We'll let the people do up the rankings, but I'm just going stage by stage as normal.
Okay, then I'm going for Ineos as well because I want to get it right.
Yeah, we both like Ineos. Stage 2 from Tarragona to Barcelona, we go back in and we go back to Montjuic, but we have the harder side, so it's a flattish start on the coastline, 90 Ks of flat. Then we have a category 2 climb, 6K, 6%. The intermediate sprints at the base of that climb. So the green jersey points, what does that mean? Does Mads Pedersen go on the breakaway? Does he try to survive? Quite interesting, I think. But the green jersey. Survive. So we'll see a sprint. But the problem for him
I think he's not going in the breakaway. I think he's going to try to survive. Whether he survives or not, that depends on my incoming prediction.
But they don't. This is the first of many. The intermediate sprints are not friendly to Mads Pedersen. Now, he would have preferred that this intermediate sprint was at the top of this 6K, 6% climb, and then you put the myriad of 70-kilo climbing relays on the front to drop Merlier and Philipsen, so you can take the points behind the breakaway on without contest, that won't happen because it's the base of that climb. Then we have rolling sort of entry into the Barcelona circuit. They do 3 laps of the Côte du Castel de Montjuic. It's 1.6 k's, 9%, much harder than the Barcelona Stage 8. They do, I think, and the last 400 meters is 15%. That is more than enough for a launch of a Tadej Pogačar quick descent. 3k, oh no, less than that. Like very, very fast. Then it like kicks up to the line. This is similar to the Saint-Hilaire Stage 4 finish last year. That it's closer to the finish of the climb. I think this is a Tadej Pogačar victory.
I think it's boring, but for me as well, because the climbing 1.6k 9% for me makes it a little bit harder to see Van der Poel beat Tadej Pogačar here. It's not impossible, but for me, this is Tadej Pogačar territory. I would like to see the Cloud of the Titans, though, on this stage, to be honest.
Break.
I don't see
Break's
it.
got a chance.
Wow.
So let's say Ineos take yellow, right? Then UAE don't have yellow. And then it's like stage, like Bettiol will know who, they had yellow in 24. And then there was the Bologna circuit, UAE didn't control, and Vauquelin won.
Yeah. Yeah, but if Ineos wins the team time trial, they'll control the breakaway.
For who?
For whoever's in yellow. It's Geraint Thomas, man. They'll honor the jersey, remember? 2024 Giro.
I get it if it was Only, because like Only was surviving these tour stages last year, but
even if it's Ghana, they're going to try and manifest a scenario in which
surely
in their head he
don't
survives.
you go in the break with like Vauquelin again?
They wouldn't. They would honor the jersey. It's Thomas leading Ineos. We've had a discussion for 2 days straight.
I think the break could have a decent chance. I'm not so sure UAE, if they didn't have yellow, would control all day, personally.
I think stage 3 is break, by the way.
Yeah, let's go to that logic then for stage 3.
Grand Valais to Les Angles. It's a mountain stage, actually. It's not too crazy at the start. Also, there is an 8-kilometer, 4.5% climb, which is not the steepest, but it's enough for break formation to be captivating. And it's relatively flat for the first half of the race until the first climb of the day, which is the Colada de Toses. We've seen this climb before in Patrick, Catalonia.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's next to Barcelona, obviously, Patrick. But that is a 10-kilometer, 6.6% climb, but the last part is quite steep. Then we go downhill with a tiny valley towards the next climb. It's kind of the third last climb. We'll get to that. The Col du Calvaire, 12 kilometers, 4%. Then the second last climb is just 2k at 4%, so it's nothing. Before we go down again towards the final uphill segment, which is 2k at 7%? Yes, indeed. So not the steepest in the world. To me, the last 30 kilometers of this race are too easy for me to expect a GC fight here. I think the reality is that we'll see a breakaway go in. The breakaway wins the stage and takes the yellow jersey, and that's the way the cookie crumbles.
You don't think a delusional team will control?
Ooh, hypothetically. Because if a delusional team controls, Pogačar wins the stage.
FDJ for Gregoire.
I don't see that. I think Gregoire's
I also think he has a chance to win from the peloton.
You think?
Not really, but sort of. I can see how they could be convinced of it.
Yeah, but why would you not send Gregoire in the breakaway?
I agree. And same with Pedersen as well.
Yeah.
I think, you don't think Pedersen might think he can win? They got to go on the rate. It's 4,000 meters of climbing. It's not that hard to climb. It finishes at 1,800 meters. Pogačar will just win. It's not controlled. So I think this is breakaway. And Pedersen's got to get in the break to get the IS points. So I think this is a breakaway with Pedersen. I don't think Trek will control for that reason. And I think this is, I'm going with Romain Gregoire.
Okay. I think that's a great pick. I'm going with Mateusz Wacek.
Stage 4 from Carcassonne to Foix. We have a versatile sprint stage, 182 kilometers long. Could be pretty hot. Again, a lot of climbing, nearly 3,000 meters. It's rolling hills in the middle. We then have an 11k, 5.5% climb. And then we have the Col de Montsegur. It's 7k, 6%. Pretty hard. Crest 35k from the finish, then descent, and then rolling downhill to the finish, a sprint finish in Foix. This is the sort of stage that Pedersen has to win. When I look at stage 4, this is a 50-point stage, so it's not a 70-pointer, it's a 50-pointer, but he has to win this, and he has to take that 50-point delta on the the others. Binny, I haven't seen the climbing shape him surviving. Ineos should help for Godon to win. I think this is a reduced sprint for them, and I think Dorian Godon will win.
Ooh. Is there anyone outside of Godon and Pedersen that we
Bling.
go to in our head and think,
Bling.
yeah, but Bling on a flat finish not happening for me? I think the winner is
Court?
Mathieu van der Poel on a flat sprint. I'm not sure I'm that confident there. I think he'd rather try to go on the breakaway on stage, I guess, to be honest.
No, I think it's a good shout. Van der Poel, I think he'll contest it if it's a group of 30-40.
I'll just go for it. Mathieu van der Poel wins stage 4. Gotta pick him at some point. Stage 5 is basically a flat sprint. There's a few KOM points available though. 1 in the first half, then 3 in the last 40 kilometers. It goes from Lannemezan to Pau. We've got a Pau stage once again, Patrick. Oh,
Yeah.
God gracious. Anyway, the 3 climbs in the last 40 kilometers are 2K at 5%, 1K at 6.4%, 1K at 7%, but the last one tops with 40 kilometers to go, so this will be completely uninfluential for the stage, I believe. Then again, if you're Alpecin, you reckon you try to put pressure? I don't think you do. I don't think you try to put pressure on a stage like this on Medley. I think he gets over it. So
I'm not. It's because they're consecutive. That's the thing. If you go from the first one and you do all 3 full, and it's only 26 Ks to the finish, I think you can put some sprinters under pressure.
yeah, like Medley, where each stage 1 drops here.
Yeah, so
But Tour de France Medley, I don't think so.
I'm going Philipsen. I just have to go with Philipsen for this one. And yeah, that's how
I'm going to have to do the same. I know we've picked a few stages the same riders, but I think it's because we have the same viewpoint on the winner. Stage 6 is then a stage for you. Charlie, I was about to rob you.
Exactly. Well, Ho gets a second stage. He gets a stage start here. Po to Gavani Gedra, 186.4 kilometers long. Very similar design to stage 6 in 2023. We have 100 Ks of mostly flat, a couple of hills though. There's an intermediate sprint after a 1.8K 7% climb. I think Pedersen again. He's going to try to get into that intermediate sprint without the other sprinters because that hill. Then we have the Col d'Aspin, Col du Tourmalet combination, 12K 6.5%, 17.2K 7%, a descent, and then a sort of, what they're calling a climb. It is a climb, 19Ks 4%, gradual. It's not as hard as the Col de Rey Cambasque climb where Poggi countered Vingegaard a few years ago, or in 23. This stage is being classified as an uphill finish, so it doesn't have the 3K rule. It is the first long climb. I mean, that's a 50-minute climb to 2,100 meters. This is the way they race now. I just don't see passivity. I think that someone's going to go for it.
Yeah, for me, this is Pogacar versus Jonas Vingegaard versus Paul Sixels versus the rest. My go-to has to be Tadej Pogacar winning this. Then again, there is a world in which Del Toro ends up winning this race.
Yeah, I'm going with Del Toro.
Ooh, what's the scenario? Sketch it.
Well, a group of 5, group of 6, Poggi's attacked but not dropped everybody. UAE have 2, and Del Toro goes up the road, and the others don't want to chase him, and they wait for a helper, and Del Toro wins by 10-15 seconds.
Is there a world in which Visma accidentally or purposefully creating a situation where Del Toro gets into yellow by 1 to 2 minutes becomes scary for Pogacar?
Well, and then Del Toro is like, I have to let on the Queen stage of Ismarada just win without trying to close it.
No, I'm meaning more like, remember Basque Country 2021?
Oh, yeah, McNulty, yeah.
Del Toro's not McNulty, though. You can't just give him a minute to 2 minutes.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, but ideally you don't. It's not a tactical benefit to be behind. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I'm not. A minute never happens because, okay, Del Toro's good, but is he really going to be? Is no helper going to be within a minute coming back of those guys?
Yeah,
I'm not sure if Del Toro's there. So, and also Sykes will just start riding. Like the Bora guys will start riding. So,
or they will roll attacks on your group to try and come second.
Actually, that's a good shout.
They should.
Bora should do that. So Bora here should if you're going to use it or lose it, right? The 2-liter strategy. No one has a 2-liter strategy in week 3 of the Tour de France. It's impossible. You can't nurse 2 liters through a Grand Tour.
Well, Lipovic and Roglic were technically still a 2-liter strategy, but then Roglic went on his YOLO adventure and threw it away in the last week.
You make a good point. I think use it or lose it. I think that's a great shout. Remco. I'll go with Del Toro.
Okay. Stage 7, flat sprint stage, finishing in Bordeaux. Tim Merlier.
Yes, it's Tim Merlier. I'm sorry. Yes, it's Tim Merlier. Stage 8 from Périgueux to Bergerac, 180 kilometers long. Again, we have 2 category 4s. Maybe there's some wind. I don't know how exposed this region is. Could be a wind stage, but yeah.
Does it matter? Is there that big of a difference between a wind stage and a non-wind stage for Philipsen and Merlier?
I just go with Merlier more if there's wind.
I think I'd go with Merlier anyway. For me, this is the second statement for Merlier.
I'll go Merlier too. Stage 9, Benji. From Bad Death.
Stage 9. Okay, I've got a billion climbs to go over, so that's going to be a sketchy one. On a Moise start. Finishing in Ussel, we've got 9 KOMs on this parkour. 3 of them lie within the first 50 kilometers. There's ups and downs throughout this entire parkour. It's between a hilly stage and a medium mountain stage. Most of them are hills. Some could be classified as a medium mountain stage if you're generous. 7K 5% is a medium mountain.
It's a transition
7K 4%. Yeah, this is breakaway stage, breakaway victory. Because stages like this are sometimes the fun ones where we see a fringe GC rider go into the breakaway and gain a GC jersey in the same way Hindley did, for example, in 2021, 2, 3? Muddy Blanc stage?
That was hard. Yes.
Yeah, but it's the same principle, right? Breakaway stage.
I think the Uno X, I think this is where Tobias Hahn Johansson's like, let me move from 12th to 5th. That's what they do. They put all the rouleurs, they put the whole team in the break with him.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Remco should do? No one can ride as fast as Remco in this parkour.
I actually agree with you that if you got a dual leader strategy, you have to try shit like this too. But they will do the opposite and they'll be defensively because they want to play defensively and try to pull him that way.
I don't know. They went in Liège. They blew apart the race. They tried to split it. I think
they went into Liège. It's a 3-week stage race.
I think you're right. Some GC team's going to try to pull some shit on this stage. I think it's going to be a Mads Pedersen, Vácek, Simmons against EF, Valgren, and Healy. Add into the mix Maro Schmidt, Plapp. I think this is going to be a cracking stage for the break. So I'm going with Pedersen.
I'm not seeing the super steep climbs where I feel like, okay, this is going to be Healy territory. The second last one is 9%, but it's only 800 meters. So I'm going to take a quick snap at the start list for a second. So you pick Mads Pedersen. Yeah. I think Vácek is just as much of a sound. Simmons is as much of a shout for this as well.
No, that's not how they work.
Yeah, if Pedersen's in the team, then Pedersen is leader. You're right.
I go Maro Schmidt. I've already gave it to you.
Much of on the pool breakaway.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah.
But everybody's gonna look at him. Everybody.
Are they? I think Trek will shut it down so Pedersen can sprint the other break guys and Van der Poel can win the uphill sprint.
I think Pedersen is smarter than that. Well, that's a very controversial statement. In breakaway situations like that, unlike Wout van Aert, Pedersen realizes when his bickies of his teammates are about to end and attacks before that happens.
Or, I more mean that you don't want to go to that finish with Van der Poel if you're him. But anyway.
Yeah, I think Pedersen would be happy to go to the finish with Van der Poel here.
That takes us to the first rest day. And if you want to discuss the Tour de France during the first rest day, come and join the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast Discord. It's where Benji and I are discussing the Tour de France with you guys directly. Talk about every stage, everything going on during the Tour de France. You just become an LRCP member through the link down below on Ko-fi for less than a cup of coffee, particularly in Frankfurt. Bahnhof or Geneva Airport, significantly less than a cup of coffee there. And once you've signed up, you connect to Discord and you're in. The whole process takes less than a minute and you're talking, discussing the stages with like-minded fans. So if you want to support the show and become a member of LRCP, go down through the link down below. We'll be there, not just on the rest days, but discussing the tour ad nauseum in the lead up and the stages live as well. We'll also be doing the live shows, of course, but that's a way if you're looking to directly support the show. Stage 10 from Aurillac to Le Liron, it's 167k, slightly watered down version of the Puy-Marie stage they had 2 years ago. So they do the easy side of Puy-Marie. It's not the Rampas side. It's 50k's less. It's still 3,500 meters of elevation gain. You still have the Pertus. I think this is break.
Ben Healy.
Yeah, it screams it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just wanted to get it in before you said it.
Benji's gone Ben Healy. I want to pick someone else. I think Schelmoser doesn't play the brakes, right?
I think he tries GC first, actually.
I think the OGC.
Grégoire Vauquelin, what are you thinking?
Sebo. Get him in. Right, stage 11.
This is not my Berwick stage. I'm keeping him in the back pocket for now.
Hold the Pertusi. You got it.
Healy drops and makes him cry. But I think there's definitely still going to be GC action is what I'm trying to convey here. Like behind the breakaway in the same way we saw it last year. But I'm a bit sad that we don't have the epic Puy-Marie version because I think the stage parkour could have been better and perhaps should have been better. But anyway, stage 11 is once again a sprint stage from Vichy to Nevers. Is this where they make the water that you like to drink in Vichy?
No, I think this is a different.
No free sponsorship. I'm sorry.
No sponsorship for the Vichy regime in France. This is. Wait, we on stage 11?
Yes.
Fuck, they're the same stage. I keep getting confused. Stage 11, 12 is the same stage. Give me Tim Merlier.
I will go for. Merlier is on paper the safe pick, but I don't think he's going to win 4 stages. So I'll pick Jasper Philipsen for this one. I'll switch it up a little bit before we go to stage 12.
From Circuit de Nevers, Magny-Cours to Chalon-sur-Saône, it is 180k. It's a sprint stage. We have some shallow climbs. Yeah, it could be hot. It's a bit rolly. Like, it's not flat. It's still a hard day on the, probably a hard day. But yeah, it's a sprint. I'm going to go with Jasper Philipsen. Usually they start to get the lead out really clicking in the back end of the tour.
Yes. I regret picking Merlier Philipsen for stage 11 because this is more of a Philipsen stage. But actually, the climb is not that serious. Merlier wins this one.
The climb's not hard.
Is it bad that we haven't picked like an Olaf Koy or anything for a stage yet?
No, that's not how it you have to. We're actually trying to do a proper job. I'm actually trying to do a good job this tour.
Are you pretending you didn't try hard during the Giro?
Like sometimes I do my gimmick picks too much, and it's like okay, we have to average out. If you think Merlier's going to win 2, then you got to pick him for 4 of the sprints.
Am I seeing that package behind you that includes a dinosaur suit, or has no one ordered it yet?
That's been ordered yet. It's on the way. Don't worry. Has been ordered. But with this heat wave, it's not health and safety yet. Lantern Rouge Media, I can't be wearing it right now. Stage 13, Benji.
Stage 13 is not a flat stage. It's from Dole to Belfort. It's 206 kilometers, one of the longer ones in this race. And the first 80% is flat. Then we start the Col des Croix, which is a billion climbs called Col de la Croix, Col de Croix, Col de la Croix, whatever. This one is called Col des Croix, and it's only 5 kilometers at 5%. And it's a run-in climb towards the Ballon d'Alsace, 9.1 kilometers at 6.8%. The only climb on today's parkour that matters. Then a downhill and flat portion of 10, 14 kilometers to the finish line. So this to me, this to me shouts breakaway, but yeah, because this reminds me of the stages. It's just that we haven't seen a stage like this in a while. I think there was a Mont du Chat stage like this
Is the Hugo
in the Richie Port days.
Hull stage win ahead of Woods and Jorgensen?
Yeah, but there were 2 climbs, no?
I don't know.
Well, nobody remembers that shit anyway, but
Yeah, you're right. There was
90K climb is
definitely
pretty big.
I am going with Alex Baudin because he won the identical Dauphiné stage in the same fashion from the break.
Okay. Oh, are there any glorious descenders? I
You
don't
should
know
pick
script,
Remco.
but if he's a GC rider, no. You expect him to drop out of GC by this time in your theory?
I don't expect it, but if, for example, the Tourmalet has bad memories again, you saw what happened in the World to 23.
Yeah. I think stages like this sometimes have weird winners.
I'm going Baudin. Oh, now can I change my pick?
Yes, you can.
Yoni Zagera.
I like that pick. I like that a lot, actually. I'm going with.
You should pick
Thanks,
Amber.
Baudin.
You should pick Amber. You should have picked Amber.
I stole your pick.
Stage 14. Finally, we haven't said the words Pogacar.
No. Can I change?
Yeah.
Ramses de Bruyne.
If he, they've announced the
Alpecin
team.
team has just
They've
been
just announced
announced.
him. He's
That's
pretty
why I
good.
saw his name.
You know who he was second in the Alex Baudin stage in the Dauphiné.
Exactly.
There you
I
go.
gotta support Belgium.
We have not mentioned Tadej Pogacar, Jonas Vingegaard, Paul Sexas. We've barely mentioned them because that really. Well, we haven't for 13 stages. We mentioned them on stage 6, but then it's a TTT before then. Now we have a
But
proper
it's on
mountain
2
stage.
stages already, right? In our head?
Yeah, but okay, he wins in Barcelona. Like even when he takes a gap, it's not the same as ending the race. Tourmalet, the race can end, but stage 14 from Moulins to Le Markstein, we're in the Alsace region, and we do the Ballon d'Alsace again. Maybe from the other side,
Yes.
I don't know. We have a hard start, the Grand Ballon, 20 Ks at 5%, but in 2 parts. Then they descend, do the Col du Page, 10 Ks, 5%, then the Ballon d'Alsace, then a couple of warm-up climbs, then the Col du Arc, which is fake news climb. It's basically 3 parts of climbing at 10%. It's 11 Ks, 7% average. It has 2 descents in it. It's then a false summit of 6.5 kilometers on top. Not a high altitude climb. It's irregular, but they'll go quick. And I think this is Tadej Pogacar victory. I think they're going to control, especially on these moderate climbs. There's no problem for Pollitt, and then they're going to launch him. And then even if the reason what we said at the start, even if big if he doesn't drop everybody, probably wins the sprint. So on the flat. So yeah, this Pogacar victory.
How many mountain stages in the last 3 years have gone to breakaways?
A couple last year, but that was because Almeida was out. But the first ones do not. The first ones do not go to the breakaway. They go to UAE.
Yeah, but Plateau de Salaison, which we'll talk about in a second, is also one where I usually would shout no breakaway victory.
No, I mean the first one.
Yeah.
Like Plata Day, UAE controlled. Right?
Yeah. I kind of want to give it to a breakaway, but I have a hard time saying it. So it's also under 50K. It can be controlled.
Lenny,
I think it's Tadej
from the
Pogacar.
break it'd be Lenny, but
Or a GC rider that's been dropped out by now. So
yeah.
it could be anywhere from Paul Sixel, Zaremko, Lipovic. Lipovic I don't expect to drop out of GC at all. You know? Ayuso from the break, hypothetically, if something happens. There's so much possible.
I don't
But-
think UAE not bringing this team. Pogacar's not turning up to not try to win
Yeah.
the first uphill finish.
I think so too. Stage 15 is a mountaintop finish as well. We've got some climbs on the parkour, but not as crazy as the day before. I would say not a continuous climbing stage, even though it's probably a series amount of altitude meters here in 180 kilometers, starting in Champagnol, finishing on Plateau de Salaison, the same climb as in the Dauphiné. Sorry, we've got uphill start, 21 kilometers at. Is that serious?
But look where
2.1%.
the intermediate sprint is, Benji. This is what I'm talking about.
My intermediate sprint is not on my profile. Tell me.
Oh, it's 17 Ks in before like the Cat 3 even starts. It's possible for Philipsen to survive. It's there.
It is possible, but it's going to be a really tough day after.
No, I know, Pedersen must be thinking, what did I do wrong
Yeah.
to not have the intermediate sprint after the first Cat 3?
And if you make the flat stages so valuable, you should give something back to the vertical sprinters as well.
This
Because
is-
otherwise there is no fight there.
They've geared the system really towards the pure bunch sprinter.
And yeah, I think it's an overreaction to Tadej Pogacar coming close last year, but
Look where the
That's-
stage 14 one is. You know where it is? 12 Ks in before any climbing starts.
yeah, I think that's stupid. Because I loved back in the day that Thor Hushovd had to go in a breakaway stage
Yeah,
over a climb, beat us
it's not-
again.
It's the points jersey, it's not the sprinter's jersey.
I do think it should be slightly biased towards sprints, but I think it should be possible to win it if you're a versatile sprinter. I don't think a GC ride should be able to win it. That's my take.
I do not think Pedersen, I could look stupid, I think this is going to be extremely difficult for him to win the way it's set up.
Yeah, I think Philipsen wins. But spoilers.
But I even think a Binny's more likely than Pedersen.
I don't think so because I don't think his quality is high enough.
He's got a full leader. It's about the 70 pointers.
Yeah, but I just don't think he's consistent enough.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Sorry, 15.
last 50k, with 45 feet to go, there's a monster climb. It's 7.6 kilometers, 8.8%. It's called La Croisette. I thought it said croissant for a
Call
second.
it Le Soleil.
I got really hungry for a second. But this is a beast of a climb. If it was in any other stage, I would say the GC riders might explode. But here it's
Okay, mais. Guys,